Because I know so many people are terrified of interest rates right now.
Our debt is on 550.
AI and crypto, and I feel like I need to learn more about it and get a little bit more involved. Welcome to the Invest Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Bauer. I've been a real estate investor here in Phoenix for over 12 years, doing everything from wholesaling to fix and flips and apartment syndications. But the reason I started this podcast is because I believe that investing is about more than the money. Whether that's how to get closer to your family, to become a better leader, or to be more intentional with your health, I'm always trying to improve. My goal for this episode is that you get one thing that you can immediately invest in your life or business to get at least 1% better. So happy that you're here. Now let's get into it. Welcome everybody back to the Investors Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Bauer. Today we are going to talk some good stuff. We got the Viking real estate guys here, Jake and Luke. You know, it's funny. The office that we're sitting in, I actually bought from them. How many years ago was that?
Gosh, coming up on, I think,
4 years ago?
I think 4.
It's
It's
crazy.
crazy. It is wild. I guess we should probably preface it for everybody out there that doesn't know who you are. Why don't you tell them a little bit more about your background,
Yeah.
kind of what got you here, and then
For sure.
we'll go from there.
Yes, I mean, basically, you know, Jake and I have known each other since we were 5 years old. Yeah, I mean, we went to high school together, went to, school together all through when we lived in Prescott. So that's where we grew up. So Prescott's 2 hours north of here. And, we both got into bartending and serving when we first moved down here. Obviously, like most people's job when they get out, out of high school and going to college and stuff like that. So we did that, and then we did that for 4 or 5 years. And then we're like, I don't want to do this anymore, and this isn't where it's at. So then we both got into real estate. I went the investment side starting out. Jake did traditional side starting out. We were both on separate teams for probably a year each, year and a half each. And then
Keller Williams teams?
I was on a KW team.
Yeah.
And I was with Brent and Dustin.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then, we just said, hey, let's go do our own thing. And so we joined forces and started Viking Real Estate.
We united.
Exactly. Started Viking Real Estate, and then we did it out of my house for probably a year and a half.
I remember being in the living room. We're like, okay, what's the company name? What's the company name?
What are we going to call it?
Viking Real Estate.
Yep.
It's available.
Exactly.
Let's go.
When was that? What year was that?
2015?
Yeah, 15. March 2015.
Okay.
2015. Yeah.
Okay. And so you were doing it out of your house. Were you you were doing it with Brent? With Daniels?
Yeah. Originally, Brent and Dustin Munger.
Yep.
And then, so started just cold calling with them, and obviously just wholesaling everything.
That was like the best time, 2012, and then it just
there
from
was
there
no
until
one cold
2020.
calling.
It was
no one cold called at all. So it was like, dude, it was like
it was getting to a point where you would talk to
ridiculous.
like 45 people and get a deal.
Yeah, it was insane.
Like think about that, 45 just like contacts, not like leads.
Yeah,
like contacts.
that is wild.
People were shook when you would call them and say like, I'm interested in buying your house. They're like, you're cold calling me, asking me about if I would consider selling my house? But now we know what it's like. Now it's like, don't you fucking call me again.
Which is so funny because coming from KW back then, everyone fucking cold called.
Yeah.
That's all,
Yeah.
but it was all for traditional. It was like, hey, I'd love to list your house,
Right.
And then when we switched the pitch to strictly, hey, I want to buy your house, it was
Totally game changer.
completely, oh my God, it's completely different.
And think about it now. Like now it's TCPA violation. If you call anybody, there's known litigators every other call. I mean, are you still cold calling?
I don't do it much anymore.
Okay.
But still from time to time, like a little bit here and there. That probably stopped, honestly in the last year. Like realistically, it was probably in the last year that it really kind of stopped. So we do just a lot more PPC now. Just inbound lead type stuff. So just with the family size that we have now, and
what do you have? 12 kids?
Luke's up to 13.
Not true, guys. Not true. 4.
I saw. 4. I swear. So, I swear I just saw she was pregnant, but the baby was born.
Yeah.
So that's wild. That's wild.
Yeah. So I just had 4, and Jake just had 3.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So exciting. Like 3 weeks before Luke. Yeah.
We've got 6 girls and a boy.
Yeah.
Between the 2 of us.
Wow.
I'm the lucky one with 3 girls. No, I love them.
That's great.
But yeah, so yeah, it just got to a point where it made more sense to just spend that extra money on inbound leads and whatnot. And again, I'm not down talking, cold calling. It's more so just your time management.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, I still think that there's money to be made in cold calling. I absolutely do. You know, I think you just have to switch up your script. You got to be a little bit different than what other people are doing. But I mean, if you're still good on the phones, like, that's PPC leads. You still have to call them. You still have to close them. You still have to do
100%.
that. You know what I mean? So
You got to have that verbal communication with people, no matter what you're doing.
yeah.
So what are you doing now? I mean, is it just you're generating inbound leads through PPC?
Yep.
These leads are you still wholesaling some? Are you still wholetailing? Are you
yeah.
still flipping? I mean, what's the bread and butter for you now?
combo of all three.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, the crazy thing is when you're seeing like where the leads coming from inbound wise, our number one lead source right now, our number one, like where we get the most deals is from social media.
Really?
By far.
And is it because you're posting? What are you posting? Or like, what are you?
Super active.
Yeah.
Just super active on we're buying. And again, like the thing is too, that's different about us in our opinion, is that because we're not just like straight wholesale where people are like, oh, send me your deal so I can send it to other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You'll
Like,
actually
we're
buy
gonna,
and close on stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna close on it. Like, and people now know, because you know we've done deals with a lot of different groups, a lot of different people. Like
Sure.
they know we will close no matter what, and
Sure.
we will. And so, you know, I think that's a huge difference for a lot of people is like when they know, if I send this to Viking Real Estate, it's
and they
done.
commit to it.
It's done.
Yeah, it's not like at the last second they're gonna
Right.
cancel or something.
Right. Which is a huge deal. I mean, it's a huge
sure.
deal.
Oh.
There's arguably right now is the time when most people are getting out of the business by far, because people that don't have the capacity to close on stuff or haven't in the past have canceled deals, aren't finding opportunities out there, right? So
Buyers in general are definitely pulling back. They
Yeah.
have, and I think it's, you know, a combination right now of, you know, summertime, obviously interest rates and election year.
I mean, it's definitely slower. Like
Yeah.
the just traction
No question.
across the board is slower. I mean, what do we have? 70,000 retail transactions in the Cromford report
Yeah.
when we were at 110
Right.
a couple years ago.
No,
so
exactly.
like the
Just think
difference
about
is,
that,
I mean,
yeah.
that's 30%
2/3.
less. It's
Crazy.
That's wild. That's wild.
For sure.
So what are you seeing as being like the winning combo when it comes to trying to sell your deals? Like, is it having them staged? Is it having them fully redone? Like, are you flipping them and then trying to only do half flips? What are you seeing that's winning?
Honestly, for us, I mean, it's really just deal specific, of course.
For sure.
But the ones that we're actually seeing the best results, and this is my opinion, you can
Oh yeah.
say yours as well, but is when we still are doing like an entire rehab.
Yep.
Like coming in, doing the kitchens, doing the baths, doing flooring,
Yep.
new windows, roof, AC, like everything.
Yep.
But that's still, I mean, we still consider that pretty cosmetic.
Yep.
For sure.
You know,
You're not
it's-
moving walls, adding walls, you're not adding square footage,
Exactly.
Exactly.
all the cosmetic stuff.
Don't have to get permits. Don't have to do any of that.
If you're
Yep.
not having to do like roof and AC, that's like obviously a huge thing.
Yeah.
Windows,
Oh,
you know,
sure.
So stuff like that.
Yeah, significantly.
Yeah.
So we've been able to like get our construction side super dialed, and we're able to get those like that whole renovation done in pretty. Right now, it's about like probably a 5-week turn.
Okay.
So where we're seeing the best results
That's really good. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a really good time.
For sure.
is those deals where you still have to come in, do everything, but you're putting an amazing product out there. So literally, someone comes in, they don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Honestly, the ones of this year, I think we've only lost on, I want to say one deal.
One. Yeah, it's one.
We lost on one deal, and there's maybe another one that
Geronimo.
we're close on that'll be like kind of maybe a small profit, break even. But of those, I think so. Year to date, we're in July. I think we've done 58 deals. So of those 58, 2 of them have been losers, and of those 2 were kind of more wholesale.
Yeah.
They're super clean. They're super clean. Like, I mean,
Right.
clean when you're walking them. The
Yeah.
people have stuff in them.
Yep.
And, you know, by the time they move all their stuff, you're like,
that's exactly
Everything's
it.
exposed. You're
You're
like,
like,
oh, this is
shit.
not what
Wait
I
a
saw."
second.
yeah. Okay, we are going to have to do flooring.
You
We
moved
are
the-
going to
yeah.
have to do this.
Well, yeah, the one that's a perfect example is like, you know, I went and walked it. And I'm like, no, dude, it's like it's so clean. Like it's so clean.
Oh, and you
And
look through
then-
the pictures, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is fucking.
Yeah, and then you like see all the carpet right, like around the bed, and it's like, yeah, the carpet's perfect, dude. You move the bed, and it's just completely different carpet. I mean, like something that I never would have been able to see. You know what I mean? Like unless
Yeah.
you're walking it, and so it's like stuff like that. But no, I'm with Jake 100%. Like the wholesales have absolutely been where we've been getting in trouble, and the reason being is
Yeah.
because you're trying to. I think when you're wholetailing something, you're trying to squeeze into it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
Right.
you're like, there's not enough there for us to do a full flip on
Yeah.
it. So it's like, but if we,
Somebody will buy this.
yeah,
for,
maybe this won't
Exactly.
be a 50K, a 50K renovation. It's like, do we think we can get away with like doing 20K or 15K on it? And it's like, you say yes, but then like Jake said, once you actually close on it, you're like, oh shit, this is not a 15K reno. This is still a 30K reno.
Turns into 30, yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
Then your sales
concessions
price,
add
yeah,
up,
exactly.
Getting beat up on the Benzer then if somebody
Yeah.
do get something
Yeah.
in the contract.
Yeah,
Plus
of-
they want concessions because those houses are
Right.
400,000 ish, right? I mean,
Exactly.
For sure.
yeah, I see that as being a challenge right now, right? It's so interesting to watch how the market has changed from 2013 or whenever you said you got into it all the way
yeah.
till now, and all the different variations of how it's happened, right?
It's insane.
What do you think about what's going on with the big lawsuit that was held on, like with NAR, right? Or how do you think that's going to change things?
Man, it's tough.
It
It's
is.
honestly really tough because like we've talked about that because we have a traditional team as well,
Right.
and so I don't know. Like, obviously, do I think it's going to make a difference? Of course, you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
Especially in the beginning.
For sure, yeah.
When
Definitely
everyone's
right off
like,
the
I don't
bat.
know what to do.
Exactly.
Because I do
Yeah.
think you're going to have a lot of sellers be like, well, I'm not going to, I'm not going to do it. I'm not. But then at the same time, what my personal opinion, what I think is going to happen is I think that they're going to see that they are losing out on money by not going that route. I think that they're going to see that not as many people are showing their properties. I just think those things are going to happen, even though like legally it's not supposed to be that way. You can't not show it if it's just because of this, but it's like, it's going to happen.
Of course,
Agents
it
are
is.
going to steer.
It's
No
Of course.
going to
matter
happen.
what.
There's no question
Like,
about it.
oh, that one no commission. Oh, no, you should go to this.
Oh,
one.
that
I
one's
mean,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not a great area.
Well, I remember even back on like the KW team, like there was other agents that they wouldn't even show houses that were less than 3%.
right, 2.5. I'm
Yeah,
not seeing that.
exactly. Like back then, it was always 3.
Yeah.
So it was, you think like if people were doing that back then,
Right.
when everything was good,
Right.
Yeah,
Imagine
if
now-
you're talking about just dropping a 0.5% or
Yeah.
a full percent.
Well, and I just think
So-
about like us as sellers, like now that we actually know how everything works, it's like we're still going to offer the exact same commission because guess what? We want that house to sell
Right,
the fastest.
Yep.
right.
We want it to sell the fastest and we want the most eyes on it. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, whatever, you're giving up 2.5% is what we're offering now,
So be
but
it.
it's, I can guarantee you if you don't offer that, your sales price is going to be adjusted.
Reflect it.
Yeah.
Do you think that, so as we're moving forward with this whole process, do you think that a seller is going to have to give the buyer some of their commission? So if somebody's going to list the property and they're going to agree to a 3% commission for the
Yeah.
seller, for the sales agent, I think that sales agent's going to have to give up half of their own commission in order to,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't,
know. Yeah, that's obviously people have talked about like, oh well, mess with the
Bull, you get the horn.
right, exactly. Mess with your appraisal a little bit. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know, like push your sale price up higher than it really actually should be. I mean, there's all kinds of things that people are saying. It's like okay, that'll at least help offset what your agent's going to get paid. So, yeah, I could see that. But I mean, like, you're going to tell me that like the solid, legit agents out there are going to be open for that?
No.
Hell no,
No
not
chance.
a chance. Not a chance.
I think it'll make the competition go way, way down,
For
right?
sure.
So you're only going to have
No
people that
question
actually
about
know
it.
how the game is played
Yep.
that are out there playing, which will actually make it a lot more fun and probably, just a lot more fun.
Well, I think the thing is exactly what you're saying. Like the people that know how to stay on top of the ball, they always will be on top of the ball. They're
Right.
always going to figure it out.
Right.
And it gets rid of all of those people that are doing one deal or no deals a year or maybe 2 deals a year. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be an asshole and say like kick them out. But I'm saying like the people that are treating it as like a part-time or like or like as a little hobby, like I'll sell a house on the side from time to time, versus the people that's their life, that's their livelihood, that's how
Right.
they feed their families.
Right.
You can't tell me it's not going to be night and day versus the two of them.
100%. That's it. And if you're arguably real estate, being a realtor is one of
Yeah.
the only professions, I guess, where you can get away with, I'm going to do one house this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true.
Right.
No other, everywhere else
yeah.
you're going broke. You're not going to have
Yep.
any money.
Yep.
You're going to have to find something else, right? And so
Exactly.
that'll be something that's good to see a transition that way.
For sure.
Well, I feel like this transition we kind of saw like in the investment space
Yeah.
after 2022. I don't know. About
Oh, yeah,
you,
when
but
interest rates like went up and then it
Oh.
was like,
Ghost Town.
Yeah.
Like
And
I
all
feel
properties drop 20% in value.
yeah.
I feel like I feel like that squeezed out a ton of people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
wholesalers, newbie wholesalers,
Oh, yeah.
just got crushed.
Or just the people that were daisy chaining like crazy,
Yeah,
not ever
exactly.
closing on anything or even
100%.
putting in earnest
Yeah.
money. Yeah, I mean, that was, arguably it's like the Keigleys, right? Which I love Jamil, right? And I love
Yeah.
the process they have, but they were daisy chaining everything, which caused
yeah.
a lot of people to get hurt and get
Mhm.
burned. And
yeah,
so those types of companies, right?
Sure. I can see that happening with realtors. For
Yeah.
sure.
You're
Like
right.
following
Yeah.
that exact same path.
What do you think it's going to do on the investment landscape? So like there's a bunch of bullshit legislation
yeah.
that's trying to go through about, there in some states, 13 states now, you can't wholesale deals.
Yeah.
But in my eyes, I'm like, so you're telling me that I can't sell this guy my house or whatever. I can't buy this
Yeah.
without an agent. Then you're forcing me for representation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No, I agree.
I think you're only going to have to close on them. You can't maybe trade paper,
Exactly.
Yep.
That's what I
but
think
you'll have
too.
to close on it. And that's also going to wean out a ton of people.
And that's what I was gonna say. Once again, the people that are perfectly fine with closing on it, they already have that figured out. It doesn't bother them one bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like people like you, people like us, people like I think of like the Imans. They don't care about closing on it. Like, trust me, they're gonna be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's all those people that are like, I'm not gonna close on this because if I have to close on this, I'm not gonna know what to do with it.
Right.
I'm not gonna get left holding this property. When It's
Right.
like I'm guarantee you're the exact same way as us, where it's like we will only commit to a property if we know worst case scenario we're closing on it.
Right. I mean, you're assuming that you're going to close on it.
Exactly.
Now, if I'm going to
100%.
wholesale it this
And
way,
if I can
maybe.
wholesale it, great.
But
Yep.
I'm going to commit to it. That's right. That's how you stay in business long term. I
Exactly.
mean, that's good relationships,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Have I don't think I've ever even sold. Have I sold you guys a deal before?
I think we bought one not directly from you, but someone else wholesaled it,
Through
To us.
Okay.
I believe. It
Yeah.
was either one or two. I can't remember. I can't remember.
Did you
which
have Hackamore? Did we buy Hackamore from you? In
No.
Mesa?
Did you get it from Nate? Did Nate pass or from Elman? Hackamore sounds right.
one. No, that was
What-
from Ricky.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know, but I remember because I saw
Yeah.
your entity on the settlement statement. So
Yeah.
I don't know who it was through, but
Who knows?
Yeah,
It could have been. Who knows? And
For
depending
sure.
on when,
exactly.
who knows, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
that's the whole
Yeah.
thing. Are you only transactional with it? Are you guys buying rentals or creating notes? I mean, I know is the Airbnb space. How's that going?
We're not doing anything note wise at all.
No?
Airbnb, we're still doing Airbnbs up north.
Yep.
And
Is
then-
it still working? Like, is it
as long as you do them right?
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing. Yeah. There's a lot.
seems to be common?
There's a lot of people that are buying Airbnbs here and up north, and they're getting slaughtered. They're getting
Smashed, yeah.
absolutely slaughtered. And again, it's the common theme. It's
Yeah.
going into a space that you don't know a lot about, but you want to try it out, and so you didn't dive in fully, and so it didn't go well.
You're right. Or know how the process works, or how the math works, right?
for sure.
Well, I feel like so many people think like, okay, if I just update this house
Mm-hmm.
and do a nice renovation, this thing's gonna be booked on Airbnb or
I'm gonna make $100,000 a year no matter what.
yeah.
Yeah.
When is like, that's what like in the beginning, kind of same thing as like the cold calling.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning you could put out just like a nice updated house and it was gonna stay.
It would
Occupied
stay
the whole
booked
entire
anyway,
time.
Yeah.
But then so like we started doing them a lot in Prescott. Obviously, people get out of the heat and everything. And our houses that Luke and I own together were just nice rehabs. We noticed those started declining. And then Luke's all about Airbnb, and he's also like super skilled on like design and being creative.
Yep.
And what he's done, which has made these absolutely insane, is just like thought of like badass themes. And that's what's
Yeah, so we just go crazy. Like, we spend way too much money on them, like way more than you ever should on a property. Because it's like, if this doesn't work as an Airbnb,
Somebody's gonna
it's
buy
not gonna. I know it might not go well because it's like, do I really want to buy a Hobbit home? Do I really want to buy a train station house? Like, so it's like you're really like you're burning your boats to make it happen. But like again, that you have to. You know what I mean? So
I
it's
mean,
like,
I guess in like a vacation rental spot, somebody'd be more apt to like go into like a cool themed house because they're like, oh,
sure.
this is way out of the
Definitely.
ordinary. They're on vacation.
Yep.
They want to be in that house for 3 days or whatever
Yeah.
it is, and then they're gone, right?
And you do it fitting to like where you're at. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you're not going to be
Yeah.
like in,
Yeah.
you know, you're not going to be in like Aspen and you're going to do like a beach house. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like you gotta be smart with that, which I would hope that most people would do. But I've seen some
don't
crazy
do
shit.
I was gonna say probably not
Yeah.
most people. They'd probably do the opposite, but
Yeah. So
um,
that's been for Airbnb, and then I mean, yeah, like we just bought a fourplex about a month ago. We're fully renovated it. We're about to refi on it right now. So, dude, we're still, because I know so many people are terrified of interest rates right now. I don't know.
it all comes down to math.
Yeah.
Like literally, that's where the interest
Exactly.
rate could be whatever,
Yep.
but you can kind of modify even the interest rate value by how much you put down, right?
Yep.
So it just
Yep.
depends.
My favorite saying is that, you know, everyone always says, you know, buy or don't wait to buy real estate, buy real estate and wait.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because that's it. Because like you have so many people that are like, I'm going to hold off because the interest rates right now. It's like, okay, well, a really good, you know, example that I don't remember who said this, but I was watching someone, and they literally were just saying though that so many people are holding off on buying right now because of what the interest rates are. But what they also don't understand is there's no competition right now. It's a complete buyer's market right now. So with it being a complete buyer's market, would you really rather buy? You'd rather wait and not buy right now in a buyer's market where you're going to get concessions. You're probably going to get $50K off the price point just right off the bat just because of how it is. I mean, you would rather wait for interest rates to drop a little bit, but now you're battling 10 other people. You might not get the house you want. You're dropping your concessions. You're dropping everything. So it's like,
You know what's funny about that is as soon as interest rate drops, the price goes.
Yep,
goes
exactly.
skyrockets
Competition, the
again.
price goes right
That's
up.
it.
Exactly. So that's always been our motto is just buy real estate and wait, you know? So that's what we do.
Is there? Are you only going after small multifamily houses? Does it matter? So whatever pencils, is it areas? I mean, is a fourplex here or up north?
Prescott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, what we've focused on is it's either up north in Prescott
Mm-hmm.
because there's a huge rental shortage up there.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff's renting out at stupid prices, or we like, you know, in our backyard, East Valley.
East Valley stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever you can find that you're close
Mesa,
to.
Chandler, Gilbert.
And that's where things are tough.
Yeah.
Is it's nearly impossible to buy a rental in the East Valley and nearly like burr into it
Yeah.
and cash flow. It's very difficult to do right now.
Without putting a ton of cash down.
Exactly.
You know, you're buying a
Exactly.
$500,000 or $600,000 house that's going to rent for $2,200 a month.
It's
That
never
doesn't
going to make sense.
Never going to
Right.
make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why we're all about burr, because exactly what you said. We don't want to put any money down. Like that's
Yeah.
that's how we basically look at things. Is like we'll buy a rental property if we know we're not going to put any money down.
If you can buy it, you can renovate it, you can get it stabilized, go to a bank, pull all your cash
Yeah.
out, or most of it, right? Or all of
Exactly.
it for
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And as long as it's not negatively cash flowing, obviously.
And obviously that's super hard to do right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we're not going crazy on the rentals by any means,
Right,
but
right.
but if we get some stupid deal, which like that fourplex was a stupid deal, it's like
Right.
okay, yeah, we would be dumb not to keep this.
Are you trying to go after them creatively at all?
We've actually really never got into the creative space.
Yeah.
We've really just kind of stayed in our lane
Oh, yeah.
on the flips, wholesales, rentals.
Which is smart, man. Like it's smart. Like
Yeah.
not everybody is gonna go and be totally creative, right? Or whatever. Stay in your lane, man. Stay in your
Yeah.
lane for sure.
We've done one creative deal. It was the triplex in Prescott.
Oh,
That
yeah.
That was the only one we ever did.
And that was like a seller finance. It wasn't even
Exactly. It wasn't
like sub two or anything crazy.
Yeah. Well, which is easier, right? I did
Yeah.
one of those in Tempe, a fourplex in Tempe,
Yeah.
in when was that? November of last year.
Yeah.
And it's like those are easy.
Yeah.
Do you want to break down that type of a deal for the listeners that want to know what that would look like, or I'll tell you my deal, or both?
Yeah, go start
Sure.
yours.
So it's a fourplex. Bought it for $1,050,000,
Okay.
due in 10 years. $3,000 a month for the next 10 years, and in 10 years, $1,050,000. Right?
Okay.
It cash flows
Principal and interest or just interest?
just interest.
Okay.
$3,000 interest only for 10 years.
Okay.
I think we got it rented. It's like $2,200 a unit.
Damn.
For four. Yeah, I mean it's
Okay.
Crushing it on that.
crushing it, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
And I mean it's so the thing is, I can go up 3 levels here. It's on 13th Street
Okay.
and Mill, or no, and Rural.
Decent
And-
area.
Decent area. I
Great
mean
area.
for
Yeah,
it's
fourplex for $1 million
yeah.
bucks there. That's,
Yeah.
That's
fucking
right
good.
by ASU.
right next to
Yeah.
ASU. So to add to add 2 levels to take 4 units to 12 in a 10-year time frame. That, you know, if I can get down building costs to like $150 a foot
Right.
ish range
Right,
to
right.
add to that,
Be golden.
dude, it would. I mean, I'm gonna take $1 million
You
into
would-
12, right,
Yeah,
or more,
exactly, yeah.
which is crazy.
So you'd
That's
build
sick.
right on top of the existing.
Yeah,
I've seen people doing that.
Yeah,
I've never
so
really like
it's
looked into it.
1950s construction block
Okay.
on the bottom, which is good because it's
Flat roofs or
No, it's pitched right
Okay,
now.
so
but
you
you
just
ripped
remove
it
that.
off,
Yeah, yeah.
because it doesn't matter for the
Yeah, for
tenants
sure.
that are there. I mean, it's
Second story, just walk it like an incline.
make it a loft
Yeah.
second story, a little like flat platform for
They're gonna
the
love it.
kitchen. Yeah, they're gonna love it. It's a new modern thing, you know.
right.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of the goal. Obviously, I don't think right now is the time to do it. But to your point,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know if building costs is necessarily going to go down.
Right.
I mean, I hope that it does. You know, we'll see. Like, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. What we've noticed, so we just finished building a triplex. We just finished building a 10 unit. Our building costs like they were
Terrible.
we spent way too much money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what we've learned is like in order to get like if you're gonna build, I feel like the only way to make it actually pencil is you got to be your own GC.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna.
They're making 25% on top of your bid.
Yeah.
You know, just going into their pocket. So it's like you think about saving 25% on these builds, like that's fucking
Yeah.
it's huge.
there-
Like, that's the
Our
difference.
last
There's your
build-
profit.
Wasn't
Yeah.
our last build 4 million? The 10 unit.
Yeah.
So if the last build is 4
Well,
million.
that was with dirt included, but
right. But I mean, like,
still,
so
yeah.
say it's even just say it's 3 million. Take 25% on that. It's a pretty big number.
Yeah, that's a huge
Huge
number. That's a massive number.
You
I
know,
mean,
so
that changes it all.
Oh yeah. And that's the
Um,
difference of like us leaving money in that deal, or
Yeah.
you know, you being
Right.
able to burr it completely.
Right.
sure.
Arguably the same for a lot of the Airbnb or short-term rental companies. If you're going to have somebody else manage it, they're going to charge you 25%.
Yep.
Well, that's how you end up not making any money.
Exactly.
There's your profit margin. So you
100%.
almost have to manage it
Self-manage.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
Which,
sure.
going back to what you were saying, if you're good at what you do, that's
Yeah.
probably okay.
Yeah.
But if you're just a newbie off the street, doesn't know what they're doing, you're gonna give up that profit margin.
For sure. For
So-
sure. No doubt about it.
So is that a similar type of way that you built or got that threeplex together?
Yeah, our triplex was actually on the market, and it was right when shit hit the fan in 2022. So it was like everything was starting to come down.
Yep.
Like August 2022 or something.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, exactly. And they had this triplex listed on like the street in Prescott, like it's like the creme de la creme, the nicest street in Prescott that everyone wants to live on. We saw it pop up on the market for, I think they listed it for $900 or $950, and it was a main house, 3-2, and then it was 2-2-1s in the back. So
Okay.
it was a 2-2-1s in the back with a nice main house on the best street. So. Yeah, it went under contract at, right away, like in the first week at that price point or around there, because it was in the first few days. The buyer took the seller all the way to the very last day and it canceled.
What a dick. Hate when
And-
people do that.
yeah,
like you're just like, why you gotta go?
I
all the way
know.
to the
Literally
end?
took them to
Tell
the
me-
finish line, and then so we saw it hop back on the market again, and I was like, oh damn, it fell through. Like that's crazy. And so we called them and we're like, hey, you know, we're super interested in this, but we're not going to be anywhere near your price point. Like, just being honest. And but it said open to seller carry on there. It said it right on the listing. So we're like, yeah, we would be open to seller carry. Like, what would you be? You know, what would your terms be? And they're like, you know what, shoot it over. Like, just come up with whatever.
Give me a number.
Whatever you're thinking. And the agent was very honest. The agent was like, my seller is over it. They're over it. They just got dragged all the way. They did all the bins right. They did all the bins right.
Oh
They
my
spent a bunch
gosh.
of money. And then the guy just canceled. So she's like, they're over it. Like they want this thing gone. I'm like, oh.
Seems like a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I could be the savior
Say no
for
more.
them.
So yeah, so we came in and we had full commissions on there. We offered $600,000. So we came in 350 grand under.
Just a bit under.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Just throwing it.
Just
we
to see
can't
how it
do
Is that gonna
feels.
stick?
Just-
We came in at 600 with full commissions. So commissions was another whatever 20 grand, 25
Yeah.
grand. And then we said, you know, we'll take over your payment. Their payments were 2,900 and
That's
they-
killer.
No, 2,400.
20. No, so it was
29.
yeah. So we did a true seller carry.
Yeah.
Basically, we put down 100,
Mm-hmm.
and then of like I think they countered us back at 650. We ended up agreeing to the 650. Our
Yeah.
debt is on 550, and it's like 29.99.
And you put 100 down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
on it for them.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what they wanted. They wanted 100 down, and it was like we're getting 3 units on the best street, like
Yeah. The front unit,
Easy.
front I think is rented out for
25, 26.
20, so either 25 or
A
27.
3-2 house. You
Yeah.
say? Yeah.
And then each one of the twos is rented out for $1,900 a piece.
Yeah.
So
18, so
1,800.
56.
Yeah. So we're
Cash flows, yeah.
$2,500, something like that.
yeah.
Which is great. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
On a
that's
100
literally amazing. Like
on
it's,
100 grand.
yeah,
You know, like,
for sure.
yeah.
And like you see what other ones are getting listed for now.
yeah,
It's
Oh, they're
like
back up in a
they're
mill,
back
yeah.
up to the
Oh, yeah.
high numbers. So it's like, okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like we owe 550 and it's worth a mill.
right.
whenever the time comes to refinance, because we did a 5-year balloon with them. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm, talking about refinancing. I'm really bullish on what's going to happen at the end of this when this new term changes because Trump's going to win. We're going to have such a great next 4 years,
Yeah.
and then JD Vance maybe will run, and we'll have 8 years of this or another 12 years
That'd be
in total,
incredible.
right?
God,
I mean,
as long as they
That'd
don't
be-
fucking kill
that
him.
would be amazing.
God.
yeah, well,
Tried.
they tried. They
Well, I
tried
don't think they're gonna
once.
stop.
They sure did. They absolutely tried already.
Yeah, it's and I don't know. I mean, the last 4 years have been a complete disgrace and just
yeah.
such a mess, and it's
No
like
question about it.
it hasn't been good for anybody. I don't know anybody it's been good for.
No.
I don't know why.
No one,
No
you
one
can't,
is doing
you can't look
better
at anyone and be
now
like, yeah, that's exactly
than they
right.
were 4
That's what
years
I was
ago.
going to say.
No.
Chance. Not okay.
In
In 4
every-
years is not even fair because of COVID.
In
Right.
every
Right.
instance, though, you look at just the biggest thing is just straight cost of living. It's the cost of living right now for the average American it's absurd. It's
Oh, yeah.
out of it's not realistic.
Right.
If you have a normal 9 to 5, it's not realistic.
Right.
It's insane.
I heard someone say the other day, like, in order to live like a very balanced life, to have like, certain amount for your mortgage, putting say like 15% into savings, and like living off of XYZ. They said you had to be making like $236,000
As a couple or individually?
couple.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean,
but like think about that. Think about how many people
That's to
don't.
live like a fairly normal life.
Oh, that's
a
years
decent,
ago. That was
comfortable
like
life.
a great life.
That was it. Yeah.
Like
for
say if
sure,
you were making
yeah.
250 grand.
Oh
like
yeah, exactly.
like you were
you're crushing it.
yeah
were
you were
crushing if
you're
you're
going
making
on you're taking the
250.
family on vacations. You're
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
things here and there. Like
Yeah.
it's now it's like
Yeah.
I mean, just to put food on the table or go drive to work or whatever. I mean, it's so expensive. I heard people are spending 60% of their income on just living expenses alone. And it's just like credit card debt has surpassed over $1 trillion for the United States. Are you fucking kidding me?
insane.
Like, that's insane. Think about that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And what happens with unsecured debt? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing happens except for it gets added on to our debt as a country. I mean,
100%, yeah.
that's what it is, right?
Yep.
And so people are just pulling out their credit card and using them every day for everyday expenses, and
Yep.
they're just not paying them off.
No,
So
for sure.
I'm afraid of I feel bad. So in the real estate space, we've done very well. And yeah, it's great. I love charging a ton for rent. That's great for me as a business owner, right? But when you look at these people are hurting.
No,
They're in
I
some
know.
trouble, right? They
For
can't
sure.
afford to feed their kids or
I
whatever.
know.
I mean, then it's kind of like that human nature side of you. You're like, oh, man,
Trust
That's
yeah,
me.
it
rough.
fucking hits you.
We have
Yeah.
those conversations obviously regularly because we have to because
Right.
with the rental properties we have it's you just feel for people and it's like, oh man, but then at the same time if you start doing that regularly or if you start doing it all the time you're already buying a lot of these deals to be fairly tight, so it's like you're not going to start buying properties to lose money on.
no, that's
You
no,
know what I mean?
of course not.
So it's
Of
like it
course
puts you in tough spots.
That's why I have a third-party management company, so I don't have to have those
Yeah,
conversations.
that's
You know.
different.
Anyway, no, not really. But what do you think about what's going to happen? As things change, right? What do you think is going to happen from a global standpoint, as far as the monetary system goes? I'm just curious on what you think about.
Bricks and
Yeah,
everything else.
yeah.
My biggest fear is the dollar just
Plummeting.
collapsing, going to nothing. And I heard some economists talking about this the other day. They were like, we can switch to bricks and like I think we'd be okay. So it's like, I don't know. Is that the
I don't think
answer?
we'd be okay. I
You
think
don't
we
think so?
I think we lose all power at that point. The
Yeah,
reason,
well,
right?
because the petrodollar, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's like the United States has thrived for 200 years, which is way more than it should have.
People want our money.
because we are the money source for them. All oil, all all trade was done in U.S. dollars. Well, now we have BRICS that's trying to get away from that and saying no, but they're actually going to like crypto, right?
Right.
Crypto is like the new way. Are you guys in the crypto space at all? Do you know anything about it?
I have some, but nothing crazy. So
Yeah.
I try to stay in my lane. Like I feel like
Literally,
anytime I go out of my lane, it doesn't go well.
it's been the last 24 hours that has kind of changed my idea or thought about it because do you know who Patrick Bet-David is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I follow him, like to listen to his podcast or whatever. He did a little webinar last night about AI and just how AI is changing. And when I look at the progression over the last 4 industrial revolutions, you can call them basically 4 that we've had since the 1700s, every single time there's people that either take it and thrive on it and run, and then the people that don't are left behind, right?
100%.
If we even think of the most recent one, I was using an example earlier today about like Kodak, right? So when Kodak cameras first came out, or when they were the superpower in that camera space, they actually developed the first digital camera, but they never released it because they were afraid of putting themselves out of business. And sure enough, what happened was the competitors catch on,
Polaroid.
and look at them now, right? They're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone. And they're out of business. So same thing with the internet, same thing with, manual labor. I mean, all of the different stuff.
Right.
So AI and crypto, and I only group them together because in my mind they're the same. I don't know enough yet to really know the difference, but I feel like I need to learn more about it and get a little bit more involved, especially.
I hear you there.
I mean, Trump was at the whatever that conference was that he was talking about, like he wanted to make the U.S. a crypto center of the world. Like that's real.
He said that he wanted to like switch to basically like a digital currency.
He went to. You haven't heard about that?
No.
Just happened. So
Yeah,
he just was there. Tucker Carlson was there. I was actually before you guys got here. I was watching a video with that, but it's like it's just interesting, right?
Oh, for sure.
That shit scares me like no other, because just like, I mean, personally, I don't have an EV, like an electrical vehicle.
Me either. I do a Ford truck.
But
Hey,
boom,
likewise.
shut off.
Because what I'm worried about is, it's all tapped into the grid. And, if you, let's say down the road, you step out of their social,
I know.
Credit score.
yeah,
whatever.
credit score.
exactly.
Okay, yep, we're revoking your rights to drive.
Right.
I'm worried that would
We're
happen.
going to freeze your money.
Exactly. You saw what
Shit like
happened
that's
in
scary,
you saw what happened in Canada with the trucker
Yeah.
convoy.
I don't even.
Froze all their bank accounts and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Arguably, they could do that today too. I mean, it just wouldn't be.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know.
I think it'll just be easier,
Yeah,
and they'll
Right.
be able to see everything. Are you a gun guy?
I am.
Yeah. So like, think about, you wouldn't even be able to go. Say you go to whatever Shields and you buy a gun cash. Like, yeah, they're still running your thing and everything, but like they're saying right now, like the credit cards are tracking all of that stuff and keeping tabs on ammo purchases, gun purchases, all that. I don't know. Just
I mean, yeah. They,
scares
they don't know about all my gun. I didn't get them from Shields. That's for sure.
that's what I
but, yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
if cash is gone, then it's
right there. Yeah, and
Makes
that's
it more
blockchain, and
difficult.
that's
Yeah.
that's all this different stuff. And I think. I mean, it's more of just being aware of it, right? I don't want to be left behind when things
No,
do
for sure,
change, because
for
the
sure.
thing about technology is that it's not going away, right?
Yeah.
I really used to think cryptocurrency was like, that's a
fad.
thing.
You
It's
thought
a
it was like, what
fad.
were those, when you buy the pictures?
What
What were those called?
NFTs.
And you're like,
NFTs.
I own
NFT.
I own that picture. And it's like,
Yeah.
It's like,
okay.
oh, so do I. Just took a picture of it. Yeah.
right. So like
those
Those flopped big.
those flopped hard.
Yeah.
that was hilarious.
Yeah, it
really.
was.
is what
It was
but
hilarious.
even who was the big guy that went to prison during COVID? That he was the crypto. He was like a 20-year-old kid.
Sam.
Yeah,
whatever.
Sam, whatever his name was.
Sam.
This is why I thought, like, all right, it's a fad. It's here. Like, it's
Yeah.
talk about fiat. What is that? Like,
Yeah.
you're telling me that I have this app on my phone and that's supposed to be real, right? I don't get it.
No.
But now it's like, but isn't that kind of what it is now? I mean, I don't even like. Yeah,
know.
you have cash, but when
No,
I go
it's-
wire money to the title company, they're not sending a briefcase full of cash.
No, for
true.
sure.
They're wiring,
For
right,
sure.
just on the thing. So it's like,
That's just why, like, personally, though, that's why I always like physical stuff.
yeah,
Well, that's
I
like
get
real
it.
estate.
And-
Yeah, it's like
Right.
you can touch it, you can feel
'Cause
it.
guess what? No matter what, like you know it's there. You know
Yeah.
it's like it's yours. You know that's I don't know. That's like it's very old school. Like no question about it.
Yeah.
But like I just love the ability to just fucking hold it, touch
Feel,
it,
yeah.
and
It's real things.
hug it. You know.
But you're so spot on.
Yeah.
You need to like
Oh,
at
for
least start
sure.
research,ing it and
Just like be
learning.
aware
Yeah.
of like
For
what's
sure.
happening, right?
For sure.
Yeah, so
Mike.
you're not just absolutely blindsided.
So one thing about us, how I'm 36. How old are you?
34.
Okay, so what we've lived through. Think about this. You're 34, so you're born 90,
Hmm
89.
89. Okay, so still 80s, but think like we saw 2 millennia because we saw year 2000.
Yeah.
We saw the rise of the iPhone. Think about that. The
Oh,
rise of the
absolutely.
iPhone, or just phones in general,
Phones
right?
in general.
We
We
saw
internet.
There
There was no internet when we were 5, 6, 7. There's no internet.
Dude.
Like, that happened when we were like
Oh yeah, like middle
12.
school, high school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that was like
Yep.
the dial up that
Yeah,
like
right.
that was a real
It would
thing.
kick you off if you did it too
Yeah.
fast,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Or if somebody called, it would give you know
exactly.
you
Yeah,
couldn't even
busy tone and all
Right.
that.
So like
Facts.
there's that, but then watch and see how far technology has come since that
Oh,
point.
I
I mean,
know.
we're on iPhone
Yeah.
16, I
Right,
think
right.
now, right?
For sure.
And so it's just like, man, and the rise of the internet is a huge thing.
Oh,
We
yeah.
played when we were younger. When you were outside, if you
Yep.
needed to go inside, you knew you had to go inside when the streetlights came on. That was a real
Yeah.
thing,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Cell phones weren't big. Like if somebody wanted to reach you, they came to your front door and rang the doorbell, right? That was a thing.
Yeah.
But today, that's not how kids are learning.
I know.
They learn on YouTube. They learn on
Yeah.
the apps on the phone. This is how they learn, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Period. And you can't stop that. Even
For sure.
I mean, Naomi, she's just started 6th grade this year, and so like coming home with her homework yesterday, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna just do it on the iPad." And it's like,
They have that option now.
yeah,
That's crazy.
the take-home homework is on the iPad under
Yeah.
their. It's called Student View, and
So good luck with my dog ate my homework now, huh?
right,
It's not
Can't-
happening
can't get
anymore.
Ate the iPad. Don't know what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Question: what do you think it's going to do to kids coming up now?
I think they're gonna be a lot smarter.
You don't think it'll like mess with them at all, or
Well,
No, I mean,
I think it'll mess with them.
mentally?
No, interactive like with people.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's already messing with them, in my opinion.
I agree with
I
you.
feel like you already see kids and they're already like, you're like, man, that
Yeah,
kid's,
not as social.
kid's awkward.
Yeah,
Right. No,
kids
I mean,
sketch.
things are like it's totally gonna change people's interpersonal
Yeah.
communication and relationship with other people and whatever because you no longer have to do it, right? You can just go on your
Yeah.
iPad and watch it or whatever, and that's a problem. But it's also the way of the world, right?
For
It's
sure.
the way technology is going. So you got one of two options. I can either embrace what's happening, which is not maybe what I want to do, but
Or fight
it's
it,
like
yeah.
or fight it and
Yeah.
get left behind.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, what are the choices that I have, right?
Right.
You got to use the tools that are available, especially if it can push you ahead.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And even like when it comes down to like, okay, I like to read physical books. For
Yep.
me, a
Same
physical
here.
book is the only way that you can really
Same here.
read. You can't read listening to Audible.
Yeah.
I'm all for Audible. Don't get me wrong,
No, I'm with you.
but that's not reading.
But
Right?
you don't take it in the same.
You don't.
There's so often where it's like you'll be on an Audible and say you're driving or something and you're just like, wait.
What?
Rewind like the
I'm
last
I'm
yeah.
oh, I'm at 18 minutes. I feel
Right.
like I
Your mind's somewhere else.
Yes.
You can't do that when you're reading.
No, you
right?
can't.
You're reading. You're comprehending.
Mhm.
for
You're
sure.
all of that.
I agree.
Well, people today maybe aren't going to read the same way, and I want like there to be more physical like reading. To your point about you like to physically feel things. In a way, I feel like that's why direct mail is not completely dead yet
yeah.
because people still want to feel something in their hands, right?
I can see
For
that.
sure.
Makes sense.
Especially older people.
Especially older people. Now, is this going to be like this 20 years from now? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. But the people that are selling their houses right now are older.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We have a lot of those people.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears a little bit. Obviously, you told me a lot about the business. How does this impact your life? How does it impact your family? Like, what has having a real estate company
Yeah.
done for you and done for your family as far as the impact?
I mean, I think it's one thing that we've talked about that we love about real estate is that I think like the ability to be able to teach your kids about it, right? So it's like, I think that real estate, I think a lot of people that have money buy real estate because it's generational wealth, right? Like when you die, if you own that property free and clear, that property is not going to the government. Like it's going to whoever you want to give it to. So
Right.
it's like, when you start talking about having for just starting, even let's just say 5 rentals. So you've got 10 rentals. So you've got 50 rental properties. You start leaving that to your kids. Obviously, you're going to want to make sure you teach them about like the proper way to manage it, to handle it, moving forward and stuff like that, which, none of us are at that stage with our kids yet because none of our kids are old enough.
Right.
But like, those are the things I enjoy thinking about in the future of like, listen, mom and dad set you guys up very well to where it's like, you're going to be in a good position. You need to be fucking smart now because you're set up well. But it's like stuff like that, like in the sense of how does it change your family and like your thoughts of how you do stuff like that. I love, I love the idea of being able to say that we've been able to create generational wealth for our kids, And so that's more so long term, obviously. But no, I think even just short term thinking, I love that our kids see how hard we work. Our kids see that we don't, and again, there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. I'm not saying that, you know what I mean?
Right.
9 to 5s, there's so many great jobs that are 9 to 5s. But I think that when your kids see that you went out on a limb and took a chance and bet on yourself, you know what I mean?
100%.
And you said, I'm going to be in control of my own income. I think that they respect that, and I think they will respect that in the future and say, man, why was Dad working so hard? Oh, this is why. Why was Dad at an appointment in Buckeye at 7:30 at night? Oh, you know what I mean? Because he got a rental property from it, or he made 50 grand on a flip from it. So it's like stuff like that. I think like you can start instilling those habits and like that mindset in your kids at a young age. And so I think that's like the number one thing where it's really kind of it will settle in.
So it's an impact provider for you.
Yeah.
You're able to impact your kids and their future selves, obviously, hopefully as well, right?
Our kids are young, but I mean, we're not stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, right. What, with more kids or?
No, kids are done. We're not stopping buying real estate anytime soon.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one of those things it's timeless, right? Buying real estate or really any real estate at all, right? It's your commercial building, it's your apartment building, it's your single family house, it's the lot that people are going to drive and park on. All of that's real estate, which is kind of like it's a real thing.
For sure.
Being able to have control of that.
Yeah.
What about for you?
I mean, I feel like even just like thinking like the immediate, like right now, like I feel like I don't miss out on things.
Yeah.
Because,
Very true.
This is, we've been blessed, we've done well. And the other big thing is like our office is literally like 3 minutes from our houses now. So like if there's ever anything, like I don't miss anything. You know what I mean?
That's kind of where I was hoping that it was going to get directed to.
Yeah.
Is that it?
My bad. I went a little long term.
No, it's more like, one of the things that I've loved about creating this life is that I have all of my time back.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Because time is the one currency that you don't get more of, and you have a shortened amount, you don't know how much you have. There's no way for you to measure how much time you have left. So the events in your family's life, the kids' games or whatever that you want the vacations, whatever it is you want to do with your family, like, you have the time and the ability to do that because you've created a life that provides passive income or active income that you can control that, that's the biggest push.
That's one of the nice things though. Like some people are against like partnerships and everything else, but that's one of like the best things about like Luke and I is, we've always been able to kind of like pick each other up. Like Luke just had his 4th kid. Like obviously his wife and Sage needs a lot more help for this next 3 weeks. Yeah. It's like, okay, having a business partner, you're like, okay, pick up the slack. Vice versa. Kayla had our daughter and I was gone for 3 weeks. Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot easier to just be like, hey, whatever. Like, Jake's gonna be gone for 2 weeks. I can pick up the slack, like you just said. Then it's my turn, and you just flip flop. So it's really nice to be able to have that. And even on your point of like, the vacations and stuff, it's like, if it's like, hey man, like it's been a crazy week, let's just go to whatever, Sedona for 4 days.
Right.
All right, fine. Just you can go. You know what I mean? It's not like there's nothing holding you back, And that's what's nice is because again, back to technology though. You got leads coming, you can still hit them from Sedona.
Right.
You got calls you got to make, you can still call from Sedona.
Right. Phone works everywhere.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's definitely the truth.
Like it makes it nice. And then a lot of times it's like, let's just say it's like, oh, you have to set an appointment or something. We've all kind of set up our businesses so it's like, okay, well, we have somebody that can go on that appointment for us. If it's like worst case scenario, you absolutely have to, you can have someone go on that.
Like deals needs to get signed
right
today. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Exactly, you know, and,
You
and they're
you
only
can-
going to willing to do it in person on paper, you know. 'cause
Right.
We've all seen people like that too.
Right.
So, yeah.
Which the partnership thing, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, really, because it's very rare to see a friendship that has also become a partnership, and I mean, you got intermingled families, right?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Like that boy, your boy,
Yeah.
right? Man, I don't know if I feel bad for him, if I'm excited for him, because
Right.
he's
Trust me.
surrounded by girls
Yeah.
everywhere, right?
We've had that conversation of like, man, like I really got to stay on him with sports, but at the same time, kid's gonna have his pick of the litter.
A pick of the litter for
man,
sure.
like, do I want to go with the sister's friends that are a couple years older, a couple years younger? You know, the friends that are older. So it's like it's kind of crazy.
I mean, and like that's gonna be exciting for you to
Yeah.
see that, right?
Yeah.
Wait, do you have dogs or animals or anything that's?
One dog.
Is it a boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna say, is the dog
Yeah.
also a girl? So
No,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
No animals.
No animals.
I have a fish. Well, my daughter has a fish.
Okay. What kind of fish?
I think it's a beta fish.
Okay.
Pretty self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Self-sufficient.
Self-sufficient. One day it'll just be dead. One day. I mean.
We had two. Now there's one.
May or may
That's
not
it.
have happened.
we got a golden doodle earlier
Okay.
this year, and it's been like, oh man, it's the best.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
way best. It's so much fun.
Well, those things, they don't shed at all, right?
No,
They're super,
That's
like low
nice.
maintenance, right?
we got a multi. So he's a multi-gen golden doodle. So both
What
of
does
his
that mean?
parents are golden doodles.
okay.
The way golden doodles they're odd. So you
Yeah.
can. I grew up. I had two first gen. What they're called F1 golden doodles, where the mom.
Super fast.
Yeah, super so fast. Mom and dad are golden retriever and full size poodle. That's
Okay.
like so they're both over 100 pounds. They're gigantic dogs.
Oh, wow.
And just the authentic, like that's an authentic golden doodle. Now, if you mix them, so it's like one golden retriever mixed with a golden doodle. I think that's called an F1B. Like they have all these different. Anyways, a multi-gen golden doodle means that the parents of my dog, his name's Benny, are both golden doodles, and their parents are both golden doodles.
Oh,
Makes
damn.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, that makes
Little
like
purebred you got there.
well that
Well,
makes them
so-
like super hypoallergenic, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like doesn't shed at
Yeah.
all. Right.
Damn.
Still maintains the curly hair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Super smart.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Heck
it's
yeah.
been awesome.
What are those like? I'm sure like pricey to get something like that.
He definitely was not cheap. No.
Yeah.
But then like we got him, and then I wanted to train him right because I want him to be not to go full service. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like you'll put 40 grand into a
Yep.
dog to get the
Right.
full service. We wanted formal training, so we got up to level 2 training with him.
Nice.
And it's been a game changer. I mean, he's only 7 months old right now, and he's super well. Like he's just
Yeah, yeah.
He's awesome.
That's
he's awesome.
Nice.
So it's been fun. But before that, we also have a cat. It's a girl. So it was
Nice.
Courtney, it was Naomi, it was the girl cat, and me. And I'm just surrounded by
Yeah.
girls. I was like, I need another boy. So
Oh yeah.
and then we'll see what happens with this with
Yeah.
the next edition. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Oh,
good.
yeah. That's super exciting.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, you
What,
shared.
SBJ Scott Bauer Jr.
Oh no.
No, okay.
No. Well, I mean, like, no. I don't think she'll go for that, but I don't know. I'll bring that up. And,
Yeah, break the ice with it.
Yeah.
See if there's any get the reaction. You know.
Right. Just throw it out there.
Like, hey, what do you? Yeah. What do you think about this? Guys, I appreciate you being here. You shared a lot with us today. Talked about the
Heck yeah.
past, about how you built the business, about what it does for your life. That's
Absolutely.
been good.
Appreciate you having us on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
man.
man.
Dude, we'll have you back. Maybe I don't know, 6 months or something, and just check back in.
Sweet.
It's all gonna be this.
do it.
This is fun. I like doing
For
it.
sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So, cool, guys. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you,
Let's
brother.
do it. Let's do it.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of the Invest This podcast. I know you got at least one thing from this episode, so drop us a like and click the subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. If you have any questions, thoughts, or suggestions for future episodes, make sure to leave us a comment below. I love hearing from you.